Right. Nikki didn't go last second.
I was about to adjourn. I can go. Who's teaching you? Oh, you're on camera now. Yeah.
I heard him.
Someone that might resemble him next to you.
I'll get paid for it.
Not limited. As of right now, it's just. Us. Us. So. Thank you. The microphone's on.
Great job, Krista.
Yeah, did you see if the microphones were on over there?
No, I did not.
Go check second court. They did have court today? Well, they had people here today.
Well, then, they didn't fix them. Yeah, that's right.
I don't want.
Got damn.
Yeah, we had like 200 cases.
Vehicles.
So yeah, I'm based.
Heater.
Had some stuff last time that was pretty good, like, it was reading,
Time, nothing, yeah.
it's nice for you.
Yeah.
For some reason, I said you're a bush.
Are you ready, Diane?
Yeah.
Window.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started this evening. The City of Centerton Planning Commission meeting, May 19th, 2026, with a roll call.
Sci-Fi, Joey Engel, Tony Davis, Craig Langford, Ben Lewis, Devin Murphy, Curtis Ramsey, John Sessoms, Brandon Swoboda.
All right, first thing on the agenda this evening is the approval of the May 5th of 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve minutes from May 5th, 2026.
Second. Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, no admin, no old business this evening. Under new business. Appreciate it. Under new business, first thing this evening will be a public hearing, and this is for conditional use 2607 for a short-term rental at 910 States Avenue. It is 3, it is single family, 0.24 acre lot, 203 in Featherston Village. Is the applicant here to give us a quick overview of what you're requesting? He'll just come to the podium and give us a brief overview. You, Andrew?
I am.
Yep. Could just give us a brief overview what you want to do.
I'd like to do an Airbnb. I'm gonna use the super host, so I'll be in and out of town, but it'll be managed directly here, by a local host with high ratings. I've already locked our contact. We have a meeting tomorrow if things go slow. Other than that, no changes to the house or anything.
Okay. All right. Christian, you want to give us a staff overview?
Yes. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit for a short-term rental. The 0.06 acre property is located at 910 States Ave, lot 203 in Featherston Village subdivision phase 2. Per the applicant, the purpose is to maximize income by utilizing the property as a short-term rental for personal or professional use for up to 6 guests. The home is 1,100 square feet, consisting of 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a 2-car driveway. There are no structural changes proposed. Quiet hours of 10 p.m. to dawn will be observed. No parties or gatherings allowed, and no on-street parking. Guests will be notified of requirements in the listing. The zoning is R3SF, medium high density single family. This area is intended for detached single family dwellings with a suitable lot area, and the setbacks are in your packet. Surrounding zones and uses, the property is surrounded by R3SF in phase 1 and phase 2 of the Featherston Village subdivision. The home is connected to Centerton water and sanitary sewer. Access and parking, the property is accessed from Kimmel Road to the north and Womack Road to the west. All streets in the Featherston Village subdivision are private streets with no sidewalks. Pedestrian trails are located at the rear of the interior lot and within common areas. The existing driveway provides 2 uncovered parking spaces. No on-street parking is allowed within the subdivision except for in various designated guest parking, none of which is available on States Ave. For property management and maintenance, the property will be managed and maintained by the property owner and will have 2 employees for housekeeping and groundskeeping. Covenants, the covenants for Featherston Village subdivision do not prohibit leasing or renting property within the subdivision. The rental agreement shall comply with all applicable laws and zoning requirements. Term of approval and or expiration. The term of approval is recommended for an indefinite period of time from date of PC approval. Approval of this use permit expires upon discontinuation of the approved use after 1 year and will require reapplication and reapproval. For PC consideration, the applicant has requested an indefinite period of time. And the home shall have a mounted fire extinguisher. And then the other general conditions are in your packet.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open it up to the public? All right, you can sit down. I'll now entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the conditional use 2607 for a short-term rental.
Telling you say 2607?
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. Is anyone opposed? Well, we are now open to the public. Anyone that wishes to speak, have any questions or comments in regards to the short-term rental request, we'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, any questions, comments that you might have. Second call for anyone that wishes to speak. And third and final call for anyone who wishes to speak.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for conditional use 2607.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. Is anyone opposed? All right, the public hearing is now closed. If there are no questions or comments from any of the commissioners, and you guys are in agreement with the indefinite period of time, then I would entertain a motion for the conditional use 2607 for the short-term rental at 910 States Avenue.
Motion to approve conditional use 2607 Hines Street rental.
Greg, a second.
Motion and a second. Christian, if you do a roll call for me, please.
Ben Lewis,
Yes.
Tony Davis,
Yes.
Curtis Ramsey,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Craig Langford,
Yes.
Joey Engel,
Yes.
Jeff Seifarth.
I'm a yes as well. Thank you. Good luck. All right, next on the agenda this evening is Development 2601 Centerton IT Office, preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement. This is at 974 Main Street. It is zoned C3, 2.80 acres. Is the applicant or the engineer here to give us a quick overview?
Good evening. My name is Hunter McCutcheon, representing Bates and Associates for the proposed Centerton IT development. With this development, the existing house on site is going to be renovated into commercial office spaces. Along with this, we are proposing the addition of a parking lot featuring a hammerhead turnaround to meet state fire code. The parking lot does have a detention pond built into it to reduce runoff for the site. And we are also providing the required street agreements via developing them or fee and lieu.
Haley, you want to give us a staff overview?
Yes, so this parcel is located along North Main Street and is part of a designated neighborhood commercial node on the comp plan. A little background being that the building on the site was previously a single family residence with an in-home daycare. And then the home was converted to a duplex without proper permits after it was rezoned. Since then, all non-compliance with the existing building has been corrected. But due to the use of the property changing from primary residential to commercial, the property requires a large-scale development application. You guys have seen this property before, last year for a security office. And at that time, a variance was granted with a temporary reduction in parking spaces. However, when that previous development approval expired, the variance with it also expired. And then for these plans, there are some minor comments left remaining regarding labeling, but it's like very, very, very. So as I said before, the parcel is zone C3 neighborhood commercial, and the setbacks are in your packet for you. It's important to note that the existing building doesn't conform with the front setback requirement due to right-of-way being dedicated when they split the parcel off. So per Title 14, the building cannot be added onto or repaired in any way that would increase the nonconformity. So they couldn't expand the building forward anymore, because that would go further into the setback. For utilities, the existing structures on municipal water with a septic system. Clearton Utilities has stated that no water and sewer improvements will be required at this time based on the intensity of the use requested. If the development expands or if the use changes to something more intensive than offices, water and sewer improvements would be required at that time. For street improvements, the parcel is located along North Main Street, which is designated as a minor arterial with a planned right-of-way of 90 feet. Right-of-way dedication was already granted with a track split in 2023, and they dedicated the full 45 feet at that time. So proposed improvements to be completed with the construction of this development include the entrance onto Main Street that lines up with that Skinner, or is it Haas?
Skinner.
So it lines up with Skinner. Sorry, they're real close. And then they're also doing streetlights at that entrance and every 300 feet of the developed area, a 6-foot sidewalk along the frontage, which totals 225 linear feet. And then they'll be planting street trees outside of the right of way since Main Street is an RDOT controlled road. And then there are some improvements to be proposed to be completed at a later date with a fee in lieu proposed instead. And that includes your 17 feet of street widening, curb and gutter, and then the green space that would be accompanying the expansion of that road, and any storm drainage system improvements, and that totals a little over $45,000. So that's up for you guys to approve. And then a waiver request was submitted with this development because per our new Title 15 code, connectivity to the property lines of adjoining parcels, which are currently undeveloped, is required in order to provide future connectivity of the street system. And because they are using an existing building and not fully developing out the 2.8 acres, they're requesting to not have to provide connectivity to the north and south. They are still providing connectivity to the east, should that property develop. So per staff recommendation, the developer is providing a 24-foot access easement to the east to allow for future connectivity. And of the accesses at this point, that one staff felt was most important to help limit additional access points onto North Main Street and reduce potential turning conflicts. And we're in general agreement in support of delaying the requirement for access to the north and south until further redevelopment of the property and development of adjoining properties occur to allow better flexibility depending on how all those properties develop. So that's up for your consideration. And then for parking, this development does provide 1 parking space per 200 square feet of building as code requires, which is 19 parking spaces. And those are paved now. Previously, it was proposed to be gravel. For site lighting, there are lights proposed south and east of the parking lot to provide adequate parking lot lighting. And then there's wall packs along the front and side of the building to light the pedestrian way into the building. As Hunter said, for the pond, runoff will pond on the the southeast 3 parking spaces with an outlet were built into the curb. That will drain to an existing farm pond southeast of the site. Per Allen and their drainage report that they provided, the maximum ponding will be 10 inches deep inside a 12-inch curb to meet code. And then utilizing the southeast corner meets the isolation requirements as well. I'm sure Allen would love to answer any questions you have about that. And then landscaping is provided along the frontage of North Main Street outside the right of way within a 15-foot landscape buffer and within the landscape parking lot island. And then trees are proposed at a spacing of 1 tree per 25 linear feet, and the shrubs are shown on the landscaping plan. Happy to answer any questions.
Is the pond on this property or the other property?
So
Farm pond is off this property, but their detention ponds in the parking lot on the property.
We're okay with it ponding 10 inches deep so we're building a bigger curb so it can pond more and function as a detention pond?
Code allows 12 inches.
Wet shoes going.
Well, it's just the 3 on the thing, and it's an IT office for a 100-year storm event. So anything less than that, you're gonna impact 1, maybe a second parking stall.
Where's it release?
In the very southeast corner, they'll do a V notch in the curb to cut it to outlet through.
Can we, well, Alan, while you got the floor, can we talk about the street improvements? What were the requirements?
So typically for the road, they'd be widening onto the section lot or the their half. This is RDOT, it'd be the RDOT permit. RDOT won't do any kind of partial widenings.
Sure.
So they are supplying the fee in lieu for the curb, the asphalt widening, the gravel widening. I believe there's storm sewer improvements on there. So
$45,000?
so they're not doing the entire length of it. They're doing it from their south line to where the sidewalk ends, to not do the entire front.
Doesn't the code require the entire site frontage?
Typically, yes. This is when we worked with that one, just because they're not developing the whole site, that theoretically that this property can be split to add more commercial to the north or develop more to the north, or if it combines with the property to the south for the residential, they buy that for their access, and then it'd be improved at that time.
Bringing it up, seems like we should split it and
I think we looked at the impact of this business.
I get it. I get the Texas as well. So my next question is the sidewalk. I assume that's the same answer.
Yeah, I'd say they'd originally stopped it at the property or at the building itself, from where they're improving. I had them extended any, cause to where if they do split that property, and they can't split it now at all because of the septic. You can see where that septic goes in there. So all that is also predicated on taking the whole system off of septic as well.
Okay. My next question is, what is the land use plan to the east? It's residential, right?
Yes.
yes.
Should we look at screening based on the residential use? Because of that, when that goes there, we can't come back and ask them to screen this.
Yeah.
You think maybe some
Trees,
trees along the back or something of the property line or?
just whatever matches our code. I don't know if the south is commercial as well. I think it is.
I don't think it's zoned commercial yet. I think right now it's zoned A1, but on the land use plan, it will be commercial.
So that's less of a. Straight. And then my last question was the access easement. I get it to the east. I get it a little bit, not to the north, but if this comes back to split, you can get it then to the north. Also get it to the south then, but south seems like a win a little bit to me.
I think there's a house on the south right now.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So
That's why we didn't.
there's the 50-foot section, there's just the end where that property line shows. It's 50 feet. That's the access to the parcel in the back, the larger
Yeah, I
part.
understand.
So that'd be where it connect to, or to that one. It could tie in, but then you're looking at stubbing that to do a quick loop right into that access road. The port right there. So
I'm saying cross access to the south might be worth just
Fine.
the easement, not building a road or anything,
So-
just asking for the easement.
the only Which we can do, but the only concern I have is at that point, if that easement would go to that parcel behind, if they tie into that. My concern would be blocking that flow where they have to account for it in this way. Cause where their pond outlets, that easement would cross right across where all the flow goes. To that farm pond,
Well, they're gonna have to pipe it in the future.
so. When they build it, yes, and at that point, they can either tie into the back and run down.
We could also, if it's split, which I think everybody's counting on, you can get it then.
With the waiver request, you guys can set specific conditions that they have to meet with approving the waiver.
What waiver are they asking for?
For the connectivity requirement.
Yeah. That's up to everybody here. I'm just bringing it up.
Yeah, I think that north parcel gets tougher to split with the lines and everything that cross it, right?
The assumption was always that someone was
Forgot about that.
trying to
The fence.
connect with the road.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's not so much developed, as they'd be connecting it out for another access point, depending what they build. And what they put behind it, they would need more than one access off of Main Street. But again, that's all future development.
They have it to the south, that flag lot.
Mhm. That's the only access that back portion has.
I don't know what the right answer is. I'm just bringing it up. It's my questions.
So where would you propose if they went south? At the Hammerhead or?
I think you just take it straight south to show the intent, and if we make it work in the future, okay.
Straight south at the Hammerhead
Yeah.
or? Looks like you're tying into their drive that would have to go into the lot to the east, right?
Yeah. Well, both. I'm not sure it's a huge deal right now. You're kind of setting something in stone that you don't know is gonna work. The eastern one for sure, I agree with staff on that.
Because you're tying in right where they already have access
Right.
through there.
Well, that access easement lines up with the street to the west, so,
It does, if we.
well, miles apart, I mean, not 100%, but
That's the last parcel commercial wise, so we don't gain as much if we get to the south. That makes, if it was
Yeah, I get you.
all the main,
Go south one.
there's one more part, I mean, the 810 is the last designated commercial on Main Street, right, south.
And normally,
Let me share it.
It is. I get it, I just wonder if we gain any
I
benefit.
don't know.
The thing is, if you did go south, you could
There it is.
tie it, if that place sold, you could certainly tie it in across. If you went south and then you would have another connectivity, if something were to happen, let's say this drive or the next drive, does it make sense? What's the entrance name to your street or?
Is that your street?
But it might be easier to do it on the east property than
Mhm.
that one. When that develops, then require that.
At the
Internals.
back of it?
I'm getting across that.
Down there in the house. You're not gonna make it that far.
No, just talking about lining up a drive across the street from that one.
Yeah, but you're gonna take those out
No, on the other side of the road.
No,
over here.
Yeah,
I'm not explaining myself very
I
well.
don't know.
I know what you mean.
So if you went the Hammerhead south, then it would allow you to, if that develops, let's say potentially like it is, like it's proposed today with commercial up front and maybe some more residential in the back, you would have an additional exit that you could line up with the street that enters the other neighborhood. Versus if you don't have that, then you can't put two exits on that potential neighborhood and or commercial if you don't have that tied in.
That's more my point.
Yeah, I wouldn't explain that right, but does that make sense? Is that something that y'all agree to or?
Providing the access easement to the south, I don't have an issue providing that or showing that on here, and that's okay with us, yes. Just coming straight off the Hammerhead, correct?
Yeah, I think that's the best place for it.
I would agree, since it's kind of already defined driving lane in that area, even though the Hammerhead is gravel, I think that'll be a good location for it as well.
Does that mean if they develop behind it, that they would have to come through the parking, the access would be through the parking?
They develop behind, they have that 50-foot wide lot access where they'd mostly be coming in depending what they do.
They do, but look how close they are together. That doesn't make sense either.
They're saying that they
We're
could
just-
that flat. And then have that access coming up.
Is that you wouldn't be sending an apartment complex right through that parking lot.
We also wouldn't be setting two entrance exits within 50 feet of each other, right? That's the whole problem with Main Street as it is.
But I think at some point we talked about it tying into one of these streets that's up, that is north, yes.
Yeah. But as it sits, there's only one access easement to the back.
That's not really their fault, though, you know, but, and I think we're doing the best. If we get it to the south, we're kind of setting up the best we can.
Yeah.
You'll have an issue with the landscaping in the rear?
I personally do not have any issue providing that. I don't see it interfering with anything. It's not going to affect anything. There's nothing going on really in the south, so I don't see an issue. What would the
East side.
The east side.
yeah, are we just wanting to do trees back there every?
Yeah, just follow our.
Okay.
I think between those two zonings, it would technically require a 6-foot fence and trees.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's nothing there, but. Per zoning,
Yes.
you want them to also put in those fence, or would you be okay with just trees at this time?
Here's my opinion. I'm okay with just trees. Because of the drainage, one, and two, if there's homes that get constructed there, they're gonna construct a fence. I think that's logical.
Just for the area that they're developing right now?
Yeah, y'all are letting them get off of everything else, so we'll just put it to the top. Put it to the sidewalk. Plus, they probably don't want those trees in that easement.
You have one already. I wanna
It's explain the retention pond to me. I know it says 3 lots right there.
And
It's in their parking lot.
Yeah, you're cutting a V in the curb to let it out.
So at that third line where going through, the curb's already 6 inches, it will start to get deeper and deeper. So the elevation here is gonna hold. And as it drops, it's going down to where it's like just 12 inches. So all of the water in that whole lot drains there to where it's going through a cut in the curb. So when it goes out, it backs up in that there. So stand in those bottom 3. All it hits, and that's in your 100-year star event, your 1% chance of occurring any given year.
Right, okay, so it's not gonna fill unless.
Oh,
That's a,
It'll fill.
It fills.
so yeah, on your lower events, like there's been 3 25-year events in the last 5 years. So those fill, I think it's about into the second parking stall. That 10-inch depth is at the very corner. So you think at that third one, even when that occurs, it is 2 inches deep.
So really, we're just banking on
the building being empty anytime, or the parking lot not being to capacity anytime.
Is this, even if it is, I mean, code allows 12 inches of ponding in the parking lots.
So I understand that, so I'm struggling with, is it a good idea then?
It's one of those that if you're having one of those major storm events, this is an IT office, how many people are working there?
If you drove your Lamborghini,
How many people go check on their IT during a 100-year storm event?
Drive your truck that day. But that pond does fill on a pretty regular basis. It runs over.
Farm pond, he's talking on the parking lot.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Farm ponds, yeah, will always overtop and go, but he's just referring to that one.
You're gonna drain that into the farm pond, right?
Correct.
so is it modeled as if the farm pond's already full?
Farther and else has that farm pond, all that, yes. What is it? You really have to look at it when it overflows.
And straight through.
Maybe part of it, but it's part of that time concentrated calcs they put in through it when they do that analysis. But they have to model theirs because that kind of shows more of that, how that flow is gonna be occurring.
They're getting all-
That's
They're
downstream.
getting all the detention with the V-notch in the side of the.
Yeah, all the stuff that they're producing with this development's pretty much the entirety of the parking lot and then what will discharge through the building into that same spot.
So when that lot sells. What, that's nice when that stops.
I know.
When that lot sells,
What you're saying.
I know. Is there something requiring them to keep retention for both lots, or is that?
When they do anything in that back one, they'll have to model everything, how they will collect what's coming off the other one. Plus everything else they need to do, to detain and discharge off, so that depends on what they're proposing, what they're doing. But yes, every development requires a drainage.
Okay.
You talking about the lot in the back selling or? the
Yeah, I'm
one
just
south?
thinking long, like the entire flow, once it gets off of this lot, and then what happens when they develop that one?
They have to account for the water that's
for it.
coming onto them.
Makes sense.
And then it goes into another detention pond.
That big one goes to another detention pond, yeah, this
Yeah.
is all for
Those
state.
big ones never get
Yeah.
full.
They're called.
Yeah, they don't get full. The big, they have bikes to them.
I mean, when it develops, it'll help him to the south, definitely.
Okay. I still don't like the idea of the parking lot filling up, but
Kind of self-imposed, you know, like if the code allows it, they want to do it. I wouldn't do it, but. Every truck, wear your boots.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else? If not, then I would entertain a motion for development 2601, the Centerton IT office. Preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement.
Curtis, I motion to approve development 2601 Centerton office preliminary plans and everything else.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
First.
Everything else. Unfortunately, I'm not getting any better.
That motion,
Here, remember, I told you.
They're asking for
Just not real quick.
did that motion include the approval of the waiver request?
That was the everything else part.
I just want to make the record.
Okay, don't we need a roll call?
Yes or no? Curtis, yes.
Yes.
Need a roll call?
No, he was not.
Oh,
All right, next on the agenda this evening is Development 2602. Bentonville West High School Locker Room Addition, preliminary plans at 1351 Gamble Road.
Patrick, what's up?
It is zoned A1. It's 91.4 acres. How are you tonight?
Very helpful.
Good.
Patrick Floyd with half, I'm representing the school tonight. We're bringing for you a locker addition. 12,800 square feet. The current athletic body is overcrowding the current locker, so they're bringing out the spring sports into their own facilities. That way they can have their own locker space, coaches' rooms, workout space. In addition, we're gonna take the existing practice field and convert it to turf field. It's the existing detention, northwest corner of the school campus. We're also gonna relocate a water line, which is this water line, this building, we're gonna reroute it. If not out rain, all the other utilities, though, it all serve to, from the north, the service lines. Wolverine already, fully built out, so then last landscaping on Wolverine, and spring for the
All right, Kayla?
12-inch bonding too? Thank you. Yeah, that's fine.
Didn't know it was an option, and you would have put it in there. Kayla?
Yes, so Bentonville West High School is proposing to build a 12,800 square foot locker room on the southwest side of campus in phase 1, and then upgrade the existing practice field to turf field with lighting in phase 2. And there's a pretty picture phasing plan in your packet for you. This expansion is to serve the existing student population and will not increase the student population. Water and sewer services will come from the north, and drainage improvements will be complete to tie into the existing storm system and convey runoff to the north detention basin. Pedestrian connectivity will be planned to allow access from the west and north parking lots, as well as maintenance access to the southeast. No additional parking is proposed or required with these improvements. In accordance with Title 15, to bring the site into compliance, street trees will be planted east of the existing fence along Wolverine Drive. And then evergreen trees will be planted along the south property line to provide a landscape buffer for the residents to the south. There's already a fence in place there, so to meet the landscape requirements, we had to plant trees. And there are no outstanding staff comments. Pretty short and sweet one. Happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from any of the commissioners?
Just for reference, it's not really on the screen, but the right side of that picture, is that the current indoor facility? Right where she's at?
Right mouse is moving,
Okay.
yes. So if you're familiar with the site, the long jump's gonna stay to the east of that's the den. Walk it to the west.
Any other questions or comments? If not, then I would entertain a motion for development 2602 Bentonville West High School locker room addition preliminary plans.
Greg, I make a motion to approve development 2602 Bentonville West locker room addition preliminary plans. Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now on to other business. First thing on the agenda is amend the future land use plan and map with the new town center, land use categories, and amend Title 14 to add section 14.04.15, new town center planned zoning district, with a public hearing that is scheduled for 6/2 of 2026. Gonna take us through this, Kayla, or?
I'm just gonna run you guys through it. I'm gonna summarize these documents, and then you guys will read them if you have any questions before the public hearing on the 2nd. So essentially, as you guys experienced in one of the last meetings, our current land use plan does not account for this larger expansion to the town. So switch chairs. So this white boundary right here is our existing downtown boundary in the land use plan. And then all of the orange is that new study area we're working on a downtown plan for. And so to protect that area while we're working on it and getting that plan done and then the associated zoning, we're proposing an amendment to our current land use plan. To basically hold us over until we get the plan adopted. And that includes these few different categories. So we have the NTC, which is New Town Center Corridor District. which is really our connector between our old downtown and our new downtown. It includes the Walmart, the Lifeway pool, and then Stoneley Phase 2. But that's really, we need to be looking for connectivity in that area. And then this dark red is where we're proposing the core district for our downtown to go. We have some public meetings coming up about how these things are placed. The most intense commercial uses are planned. And then this blue mixed use is just what it sounds like. It's our mixed use live, work, play type area.
What defines that western boundary? It looks a little funky.
This one right here, or this way?
The mixed use NTCs between Maine and Kimmel. Yeah, like,
It's right here,
no, I'm sorry.
right here.
Red, the blue just to the left,
The wavy blue.
the wavy.
This.
Yeah.
That's the water.
Floodplain.
Is that floodplain? Okay, okay.
We,
I know that's where the beavers live. I didn't know.
Beavers are north.
I think it's also,
I think beavers are everywhere.
I think it's also already designated on our land use plan as open space. So we didn't propose any change to that boundary. And then this orange is our neighborhood transition. We're still looking for denser development, like single family residential, but it starts to transition back to those surrounding areas. So this is what the land use amendment would look like. Though there are descriptions in your guys' packets for exactly what those areas are. I can read through them if you want, but. So that's the land use plan amendment. Do you guys have any questions about that?
Do I didn't bring my packing from yesterday, but do we want to share the dates we're setting out for the interaction with the public on those, right?
Hmm.
Do you happen to bring those with you?
We have those.
Sorry, I left my
We
note.
have those, but we have the zoning district to still go through.
Oh, sorry.
June 10th is the farmer's market. June 11th is a public input meeting from 4 to 7:30. June 11th will be stakeholders meetings. June 12th.
Copy with the mayor.
Coffee. I was on the 13th. Am I wrong?
I
The
think you're
12th
right.
is the stakeholders meeting.
Yes.
At 11.
Well, then I'm off. No, that's right.
Okay.
Farmer's market.
That week.
That
lot of-
week.
Say Thursday, Friday,
Yeah.
Saturday.
That week.
Yeah, so
We putting out, they're creating a flyer, so watch for those dates, they'll be posted,
Mhm.
the flyer for the times and locations, what all is going on that week.
more so that you guys know that they are progressing with the work, that there will be public input, a website and some other things that they're working on, so, that's part of the reason that we're also, having this discussion tonight on this, because they are doing a lot of work and there's a lot of progress on that, so this will help us, in the future, once all that documentation is completed in the plan, adopted, if you will.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry, keep going.
Thank you for that.
Feel like you're small.
I didn't mean to offend it, yeah.
Okay, any questions on the future land use amendment? I'm gonna move on to the zoning business.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah. Okay, if there are no questions, so naturally, when you have a land use amendment of this degree, we don't have a zoning district that fits any of this. So right now, just as a temporary in-between until we get more zoning established for this area, we are proposing a new zoning district called New Town Center Plan Zoning District. And it essentially works in the same way that a PUD works, where it's a negotiation between the developer and the city, but it's as a zoning district. So they would still come to us with a rezone to the zoning district, but they would have to have a general site concept. Basically, they're proposing their own schedule of uses, what will be allowed in the zoning districts. Or this is the zoning that they're proposing, where are they putting their open space to show that
It's a PUD,
it's a PUD as a zoning district?
so it's a PUD.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
But they would rezone the property to this
Yeah.
rather than have an underlying zoning,
Or
so.
is that for any category?
It's for, specifically for the property within this identified boundary.
Any of the colored area?
Yes. Could have it.
And do we have like recommendations and do we have like a backbone to stand on of, hey, this is what we want in this area?
That's what this is for,
Yeah.
with the descriptions of each zone. Yeah.
I'm not sure everything's specific.
It's not
It's not
super, it's,
specific.
it's more of a, they come to us with an idea.
Well, no, I understand, but at the end of the day, we need to have something to fall back on to avoid single family.
Yes, right, yes. And the descriptions in here actually say like what kinds of development are it. And even the one transition, neighborhood transition limits the amount of single family you can have and how big or small those lots can be.
Great.
So that we're, yeah.
And this is mainly just a gap fix until we get the study and we get our code in place. That really establishes what we criteria.
This, obviously, this has been coordinated between the two.
Yes.
Yes. We had so much, I mean, our main problem really is that underlying zoning district. What do we have? What do we call it? So.
Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners? So this will be for a public hearing that's scheduled for June 2nd. If you read through it and have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to Kayla or Lorraine. Next on the agenda is the Planning Commission bylaws. There were a few additional changes by the staff. Lorraine, are you gonna?
Save this for you.
I thought
We
you
didn't
took
want
care
to
of
vote
everything.
on it. Well, I
I
did,
thought you
but this
took
was
care
a
of it.
group decision that we wanted you to be involved.
Did this to
And
yourself.
There's more.
Yeah. Added some more.
So we had a little bit of time on Friday, started going through it to get the final draft. And so we added some things. And, you want me to do it?
Or I can do it, I don't mind.
No, I wasn't here.
Do I need to go line by line or can I summarize kind of what we did?
Well,
If you want more in detail, then you should do it.
okay, well, on here, most of the changes, okay, we tried to do a document and, all right, Christian, you explain how the changes in the colors.
Okay, so there's a little cheat sheet up in the right. We colored Brian's comments, that green color, staff comments and things that we added are purple. Things that are original that we are keeping the exact same are just in the black font. And then stuff from the original that we are removing is red and striped through.
Okay, so as we talked last time, the Centerton planning area, we no longer have jurisdiction over that, so that was removed. That's, a lot of this red is, I reworded, yes, that we had talked about on the terms of the commission. Appointments to fill vacancies shall be for an unexpired term. At the end of the term, reappointment can occur for consecutive terms. It was redundant. So paragraphs 2.2 and 2.3, as you can see, there's purple, and we just kind of separated. So added with 9 members on the Centerton Planning Commission, 3 members shall hold office for staggered 3-year terms. There are no terms for appointed commissioners.
Term limits.
Term limits.
There are no term limits. Yes, there's no terms.
Word.
No term limits.
No
for
terms.
Commissioners. We felt like that is covered. If there is a vacancy, And you all expressed that you don't want term limits, but we feel like it's covered at below. Because when there is an opening, then there would be applicants 60 days prior to a term limit expiring. There will be applications, they'll be reviewed, and then whoever is best, that it would be, that would make the recommendation to the council. So all vacancies shall be filled by appointment by the mayor and confirmed by the city council. That's per code. Appointments for unexpired terms will be to fill the remainder of the term. That's existing. Vacancies for expiring terms shall be filled for a full 3-year term. 60 days prior to the end of an expiring term, notice will be made for accepting applications and interviews of the applicants.
I think we need to add how that notice will be facilitated.
Right? And how?
I don't know, I mean, it's,
Well, we.
I just wanna, I don't want it to be, hey,
Usually do,
it needs to. Whether we publish, whether we, I truly don't know.
I mean, I think publish is fine.
Publish and postings is how
Okay.
we.
Sure.
You just change notice will be published for accepting applications and interviews of applicants.
You have notice will be published and posted.
Yeah.
For accepting applications and interviews of applicants, prospective candidates. And it says may be interviewed. And should it be made or should?
Brian made the change from should to may.
Yeah.
Be shall.
I think should or shall, did I change it to any?
Yeah.
Did I really want to do that?
I mean,
Because
That's the next sentence.
yeah, that could very well be, yes. Yeah, I think so.
well, there's that, and if you put shall, that means the mayor has to interview every single
Well,
person.
the other thing, I think it should be interviewed by the mayor. And then the planning commission chair or designee and the planning director.
So we were going to
I wanna remove the mayor's
adapt the
discretion.
mayor's discretion.
That's something else Brian put in there last time. It's,
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta keep myself busy, right? Yeah. Change it.
Add this, oh, take it away. Add that. Nah, let's take it out. If you leave it in there, it gives them flexibility though, right?
What's that with the,
I mean, if you
we're
leave
talking about the shall or should or may?
it
Well, at the mayor's.
at the mayor's discretion.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the problem I have with that though, is what is the mayor's, I mean, I think we need to have a set policy. Either the mayor's gonna do it, or, I mean, what I don't wanna create is some sort of inconsistency, or I'm looking from a defensive standpoint that someone doesn't get picked and because the mayor chose not to bring the committee in, or this time he chose to, or whatnot. I just think it should be consistent every time. So if the mayor chooses great, or if it's the 3 of them, but I mean, I really struggle with at his discretion portion. Not that I don't trust the mayor or whoever will be mayor.
Or should it be may or shall or should?
I think I'm okay with may. But I think, prospective candidates may be interviewed.
If it's May though.
There was a reason
If it's May and the mayor doesn't do it, who's gonna do it if he doesn't pick or appoint a designee?
I think what you're trying to do here though is have more than one.
I think there should be 3 people, right? Either 3 people or 1. What I don't want is, it should be interviewed by the mayor, or if he chooses, we'll bring in other people. That's my concern.
I would say, based on experience, the reason that there have historically been 3 of us is the mayor's looking at it from one perspective. Lorraine, as a planning person, has a different set of questions, if you will, that I'm just picking on Lorraine right now, okay? But whoever the planning director is, right? And then whoever the chairperson has, a certain set of questions and or comments that they might ask as well. So that's the reason that the 3 together could collectively come up with the best person.
I think so. And I mean, I still think that the mayor makes the recommendation to you guys, and then you guys recommend to the council. Is that right?
No, he just,
He
it
makes
goes
a
straight to,
recommendation.
he makes a recommendation to the.
Okay, right. But ultimately, the mayor gets the final say to recommend. However, I think it would be wise to have the perspectives looking in at it, as you say.
I don't think you wanna change from may though. If you have
Yeah, I
20,
think
if
we
you
should.
say shall, it's
Right.
because if you have 24 applicants, it's shall, you're supposed to.
Well, and that's probably what I was thinking is.
Can't knock it down
Exactly.
to.
May's fine, you just delete the rest of the other text that's highlighted and discretion.
Right.
Well, perspective, because we do usually take however many and narrow it down to 3 to 5.
And that's probably the reason I said that. I mean, I think the intent is that the final selection of candidates will be interviewed, but we don't want to have to interview 60 people.
Okay, so
Okay, so it's May.
keep may, remove, and at the mayor's discretion.
He's not listed, is he?
Or designee.
All right.
No,
Everyone else has or designee. Do you want that on the mayor's?
Well, but the mayor's the final decision.
Right, yeah, so
That's the reason I
I'm okay with that.
That's the reason I think the mayor has to be there.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you're saying the mayor's discretion is like selecting so many candidates to interview.
No, I'm looking at it as the mayor can determine whether or not he wants to make the recommendation to the council by himself, or if he wants to, meet with you guys. Exactly, so that's what I'm trying to get.
Is there a better word for prospective candidates, like they should, like the narrows down for, like.
Applicants,
Can I say something? Would it sound better if it says applications will be reviewed and selected candidates may be or should be interviewed? That way you're not gonna interview every applicant, but you can have a first line check of the applications that are submitted. And then select which ones go on to interviews.
I'm not opposed to that at
I
all.
mean, that's what we're trying to do.
Right.
Yeah, but just the wording of it.
Right.
Okay, applications shall be reviewed and selected candidates may,
Well, then I would say selected candidates will be interviewed,
Will be.
I think, correct.
okay.
That was Cliff for the record, just say his name or anything.
Thank you, Cliff.
Thank you.
Okay, a planning commissioner may be reappointed if it is determined that they are the best applicant to fill the position. So should that have a word before there, like a,
Just repeat.
An existing,
an existing, yeah? Or,
I think it's fine. I mean, they wouldn't be a planning commissioner if they expired or if they weren't on, right? I don't think we have to overcomplicate it.
it made sense when I read it.
okay. Made sense till I read it again. Okay. Then these were the change, we went over these changes. If a member is absent from 4 consecutive regular meetings or a total or 6 meetings in a 1 month period. Except for the case of extraordinary circumstances as determined by the chair. The commission may recommend to the council that she be removed from his or her position. And that position is declared vacant. That was just cleaning up. We went through the training and education. All right, regular meetings, 1st and 3rd. Yeah, okay. 4.3. A quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the planning commission memberships for conducting a business. Example, if you have 9, we went ahead and just made it applicable. Then we must have 5 to make a quorum. No official action of the commission may be conducted without a quorum, except for the closing of the meeting. So if we open a meeting and the roll is taken, you could close the meeting.
thank goodness.
Okay, so except where otherwise required, this is the same. The affirmative vote of at least a majority of the members present at any meeting shall be necessary for adoption of any motion. The chair shall have a vote to do shall have a vote, as do the other members. No vote shall be cast by proxy or virtually. All public hearings without a quorum present shall be rescheduled for the next regular or special meeting without additional notification requirements.
So up there in the example where you said if have 9 members, obviously that doesn't make sense. We might want to
Yeah.
reword that.
That was just, that's what we had before and just put out.
Just fix the number.
Yeah, we just fixed the number.
With bad grammar to begin with. Apparently.
Do you want to add anything versus policy being made by the chair, anything like that? Do you want to put anything around notification while we're redoing these? I mean, what's like
Nice.
the proper way to notify and just so it's,
If a member, yeah, absence. That would be good.
and I would just say an email notification.
The planning commissioners shall send email.
You can use the planning you can use the planning, there's a planning email, right? Assuming it's monitored.
Yes.
And we should,
All of us.
you know, I would say 24 hours in advance. I don't want to overcomplicate it with everything else. We can determine if it's an emergency or excused afterwards. That may fit under 4.1. I don't know where you're writing it at, but maybe that fits under 4.1. Cause that's where we kind of talk about when they are and things like that.
One where they talk about the absences.
So I was gonna say the.
It could be either one. You can be 4.1 or 4.3.
Add in.
On 4.3, is it? Is it legal? Yeah, you send the notifications out, we've got this coming, all of a sudden we don't have a quorum, hey, we're just moving it to the next, you don't have to resend stuff.
They would know they'd be here though. They'd just tell hearing and have it today.
Long time. Then we're notifying them.
Yes, if anyone was here, at a public hearing, they would be notified.
Right, that's exactly right. So I mean, the announcement would have to be made at the meeting then.
It's also been a very long time since we moved to 9 that we haven't had a quorum. But I mean, it's a good thought. for sure.
I just wanna make sure that.
Okay. Okay, we added this section on work sessions to discuss, formulate, or deliberate upon planning and zoning policy issues may be held as necessary with the chair, vice chair, or designated staff directing the work session, and shall require orderly behavior and discussion. I emphasize that. The intent of work session meetings is to promote informal, open discussion on policy issues and to seek consensus and resolution to policy matters. No formal actions shall be taken or motions made at the work session. Work sessions shall be open to the public and public comment is not required. The work sessions may be joint sessions, including participation by other city employees, departments, and city council members.
Do we need to put anything in there about, like, I know if we have multiple of us meeting at the same time, we have to post notice or something like that, right? In their law regarding that?
Yeah, it absolutely has to be announced.
Right. Do we need to add something to that? Just maybe,
I'm curious as to how you guys handle it now with the work sessions. Do you guys provide notice? Okay, so I mean,
We do have that above on 4.1. We could put that same sentence down below, the notification of the.
Well, and I think you can put notificate for any meeting or work session in 4.1. Or you gonna hit it? Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, on page 4. We've gone through all of them except, I'm not sure which number is 4.8 on mine.
4.8.1.
Okay, for some reason, we had the public hearing shall be conducted informally. They should be conducted formally.
That's when I read that. I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, then,
Section. I don't know how much of that is just cleanup, but.
oh.
Yeah, those
I
they
think
had
we
looked
covered
at.
that last time, didn't
Yes, they had looked at those previously.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did have the limited to 3 minutes as we talked about. Everything is the same except the last sentence. We talked about this today and wanted to reword it. As to no final or official action shall be taken outside of any official meetings. Before it had final or official action shall be taken only in regular meetings unless the public hearing is continued to a special session of the planning commission after the hearing. Which made it almost sound like if you had a special meeting
Yeah.
for a public hearing, you couldn't take action except at the regular meeting. So Brian made that very simple and just put no official action shall be taken outside of an official meeting.
Do we even need the? Okay. Do we need the last bit? Unless the public hearing is continued to a special session of the planning commission after the hearing, because that's still an official meeting.
That's why we
It's
just
still
took
an
it out.
official meeting.
Oh, you took it out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, that, the screen is probably the more accurate.
Oh, okay. What a great idea.
I opened, that's why I said, hey, please save that for me and I'll open it so we could look at the correct.
It doesn't show what was changed.
It didn't. We changed this like right at the end, Brian came in after court, like, hey, while you're here.
They grab me.
Okay, 4.8.1.
Small.
That should not be 4.7.1.
Shouldn't that be red instead of purple?
Rules of procedure for public hearings.
Staff made that change.
Yeah, staff made that change.
Brian was there, but we, you know,
Okay, so these are all new. The chair announces the subject of the request, and this is just to kind of help. You know, maybe Jeff's not gonna be here forever, and the new chair wants to know how to run a public hearing, it just lays it out. So the chair announces the subject of the request and summarizes the rules of conduct for the public comments as follows. All comments must be addressed to the chair. The general public will be given an opportunity to be heard. The chair may elect to allow persons to speak only once or may permit additional public comments. The chair may terminate a presentation if comments become excessively repetitive or stray from the issues at hand. For large hearings, the chair may impose a time limit of no less than 3 minutes per person on all the individual public comments. The chair expects courtesy from all participants during the public hearing. Applause, booing, shouting, or other public outburst will not be tolerated. And we just put these down based on how Jeff usually conducts everything. No, we
Up, Jeff.
kind of took it from some other examples, but we did make a note to ourselves that Jeff does a very good job.
Let's do it very good.
So the chair opens a public hearing, invites the applicant to make a presentation on the request, review of the planning staff report and any other applicable reports or correspondence. The chair invites public comment on the request, and all written correspondence received on the request is read or summarized and becomes part of the public hearing minutes. When all public comments have been received, the chair closes the public hearing. Planning commission shall deliberate on the request and take final or official action by roll call unless the public hearing is continued to a future session.
Don't we normally, I'm just asking, don't we normally have the applicant come up first, present, and then open the public hearing? The way that that's written, it says we open the public first.
We have done that and we did discuss that, but as part of the public hearing record, and this is what we also found in other examples, that really you should open the public hearing first, invite the applicant to speak first. A good question though, because we looked into that too.
All right, you may have to remind me.
Okay.
The two questions on that.
Mhm.
Chair opens the public hearing and closes it, or does it happen by motion?
He does it by motion, but he asks for a motion to open.
Facilitates the opening.
I just wanna give Jeff too much
So
power.
you-
But also any place that it says the chair, is there any I was trying to look back through, is there any statement that says if Jeff's not here, then the vice is the chair?
Yes,
Yeah.
at the very beginning.
And that would flow throughout?
And if, yes, and if the vice chair is not here, then the secretary's not here, then you all select someone amongst yourselves
See that?
Motion not
to take care of the meetings.
Yeah, then it would probably be.
Update.
And hopefully in that case, we would know ahead of time, which is part of the reason we try to get notifications and things like that. I understand things happen, but if there were gonna be three of us, we would try to start a plan for that.
Okay, this is all new, this Article 5 on actions of decisions with motions, decisions of the planning commission shall be based upon sound planning and zoning principles applicable, ordinance standards and relevant findings of fact. Commission motion shall contain the following elements as applicable to the request. Number 1, motion should be made in the affirmative, stating the summary of the request, the proposed action, whether approval with contingencies or recommendation to the city council with any conditions. 2, commissioners should identify relevant findings of fact that support the proposed action and conditions. Any questions? You guys are good at, okay.
They already do that.
Yes.
That's good.
Voting. Okay, affirmative votes from a majority of the quorum of the planning commission members present at the meeting shall be required for the approval of any requested action or motion placed before the commission unless a larger number is required by law. So there are circumstances where there is a 2/3 vote needed, and I think we mentioned that.
It's at 5.4.
Yes,
Mhm.
okay. And Ashley, okay, so voting shall be ordinarily by roll call vote, except that a voice vote shall be permitted for approval of agenda items, meeting adjournment, and similar actions. We did have election of officers.
We did that out. Ryan said we should do that by roll call.
Yes. Because there is actually, if you try to remove someone from an office, it requires a 2/3 vote. So, okay, so all commissioner members shall vote on all matters with the chair voting last, which Jeff has already been implementing that. All commissioners voting to deny should state their reason for opposition. A member may be excused from voting only if that person has a conflict of interest. Any member abstaining from a vote shall step away from the commission table, shall not participate in deliberation or action of the request. That does not mean that they cannot come up and give public comment. Okay, they just can't be in the deliberation of the decision.
Now, is that just abstaining or recusal? Because those are two different things.
What's the difference in them?
Abstain just means that you don't have any
You don't vote.
ethical, you,
No.
you're not part of it, you're just like, I'm just not gonna vote. Which basically you should just vote no if you're gonna do that. I mean, you should never abstain. But, and then recusal is when you do have some sort of
Conflict of interest.
conflict of interest with that particular project.
So we should aim
Well-
for.
Sounds like you're trying.
Why would someone be allowed to vote in either circumstance? I mean, if they were, or be able to deliberate, if they were going to abstain, why would they
I think Diana is saying that it should say abstaining or recusing from a vote. They have
Well,
to.
that's
put
what
that
I-
way.
But I think in this example, as I think about what you said, Diane, in my mind, it's really saying the same thing because I can be a part of the discussion and I could participate. But then do we allow them to abstain from a vote? That's different than what this is saying. This is saying if there's a conflict,
But then that's a recusal.
Recuse.
I get it. So maybe that needs to change. Maybe instead of saying abstain.
Yeah.
But I guess then that begs the question, do we have to have a policy or part of the of this that would cover if someone wants to abstain from a vote? Do we need to have anything in here for
I
that?
mean, could you put just any member with a conflict of interest? Instead of saying abstaining or recusing.
You're saying abstaining does not have a conflict of interest?
How any member with a conflict of interest shall step away, which table shall not participate in deliberation or action on the request.
Yeah, the only reason, I mean, in theory that they should abstain is because they have,
Correct.
not because of what they believe or what they feel, or, I mean, because that should allow them to give a yes or a no. And if it's a no, then the reason why no, which could be a feeling. I mean, not that that's ideal, but that's, we have had that before when it comes to adjacencies and some other things, so. I don't know if that clarifies anything or clears it up, but I think it's more about the recusal part and the conflict that we want to make sure that they understand that they need to, step away and not participate in the deliberations, really I think what we want to make sure we say.
Okay, so what if someone does go through all the deliberation and then they abstain from the vote?
Well, you've got some other language in here that says every member shall vote.
Yeah, so if you're not gonna vote, you recuse yourself, you get off.
Should we specify before deliberation? Like, should we add those words?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So Brian, you don't think there's any legal?
We're getting into ethics, which isn't legal, so I mean, bear with me there.
Yeah, if there's any legal, maybe I say that would prevent me from abstaining from a vote. Just because we say that I can't do that, like, is that?
Well, okay, I was trying to think of an example just now, and I'm thinking, let's say.
You want either, but.
Yeah, and I can't, and the worst thing I can come up with right now is if, and I know this is against the law in the state of Arkansas, but if an abortion clinic were wanting to open shop on 102, you may be morally opposed to it. However, you don't have a conflict. Does that make sense? And so I would suspect you may want to abstain, but I think your duty would be to vote.
Abstain, that's considered a no.
So
That's what we say with,
Well, yeah, because we're looking.
it's not in the affirmative.
Right, you have to have
I
majority.
read one, something like this came up, but it wasn't in Arkansas, but there was somebody on the board. Their son was killed by a drunk driver. They were wanting to open another liquor store. And they sat through the hearing and all the people knew the history. And of course, they knew what the vote was gonna be, and then whoever was bringing it in, that vote kind of changed the tide, and that was brought up that they should have set out, like Jeff's saying, ahead of it, because everybody knew that they.
And that's where it gets hard. That's where, in fact, I was telling Lorraine earlier today, the municipal league's not gonna give advice on conflict of interest because it's personal. So I mean, there's not a bright line rule on this is a conflict, this is not, you can abstain. So I don't know that we can ever come up with a generalized.
This was in one of those planning, it was like
Instruction.
6 years ago or longer, that one of the reads that we got from you guys, and
Was in there and that was.
No, I mean, you know, and when you think about it, I mean, there's not necessarily a financial interest or whatnot, but this person may be absolutely opposed. But that's unfortunately like we do judges, it's part of your duty to separate your personal opinions and to look at the betterment of the city with regards to that. And I know that's really hard sometimes. So arguably perhaps they could, conflict off and step aside. But I mean, but I don't know that that's an I don't know, that would be an ethical question for the ethics commission, you know, not for me.
Yeah, because if their intent all along was to abstain, then they shouldn't even participate in
No,
my.
and I agree with that.
True.
Sure.
So that, I mean, that's the way that I look at it, and I don't know how you cover that in. Again, to your point, I mean, we can't cover everything up here, but if somebody already knows that, then they.
Yeah, they probably need to separate themselves.
Diane, you teach the ethics class, so do you recommend like two separate statements, one that addresses
Yes,
refusal and one?
because they're two different
addresses
things.
abstaining? So let us work on that. We can bring that part back to you. We won't go through the whole thing. We'll just, I've got it started and we can discuss. Maybe
Yeah, that's one of the things
have
we talked about.
some better words.
But yeah, I would struggle with any time that, if anybody abstains that has not already recused.
Right.
Like if you know you're not gonna take
Right.
control of the matter, you should.
I think you should just recuse. So I mean, you know, it's.
I agree.
Yeah.
Are we gonna change bona fide? I noticed you didn't.
Yes, we're taking that out. Yeah, I'm struggling with that. I don't, who
Looking for that definition, yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what bonafide. Yeah.
I said I could make that decision, but. All right, in the city staff, this was one of Brian's comments that we just moved up into this section. City staff shall provide administrative and technical support, but shall not vote or participate in deliberations. So you can ask us questions, but we aren't, so, and we can provide you information.
So on the participate in deliberations, I mean, is deliberation different than, I think it's hard to define what that is if we're, because if we deliberate and we stop and we ask for clarification, is that not allowed then, or?
No, I think it's allowed. Yeah, I think you guys can communicate with staff all the way until someone makes a motion.
I think it's just saying like their personal
Ask me what.
opinions. Yeah.
Right.
Ask me my.
Best the conversation.
Provide you the code of the match.
But what about their faces? Sometimes their faces make.
Oh,
Then you have to wear, yeah,
Ask the staff.
I'll have to cover.
Opposed
I can't hear you.
or in support or opposed to a project, right? I mean, I know
That's
that
in the staff findings.
Yeah.
But it's based off of facts.
Yeah,
Tony. It's not based
of
off,
code.
yeah, it's not based off of opinion.
Yeah, we could provide you
We can
facts.
Provide you our concerns.
Code.
Of what we see as
Okay.
potential issues. Okay, in the event of a tie vote, motion fails.
Right.
There are some bylaws where, you know, I assume that the chair isn't a voting member. So, you know, then they have the chair as the tie vote, just like the council and the mayor.
because they can always appeal to the city council anyway. Here they say I appeal to the city council.
Yeah.
So I think.
And the mayor has to vote on that, right? If that's a tough.
This was just
You
to
can
provide
do tie vote.
clarity because we have had sometimes where it was like, oh, we have a tie vote. Okay, now what do we do? And I mean, it's our, this just gives us clear direction. Okay, and that was. I think that's, all right. No subject matter, add that, yeah,
Is there anything, Devin and I were kind of trying to figure out, are there any changes in here that upset the, I guess what do we even call them? The chair, the vice chair and the secretary, those roles and how that would play with the reappointment or anything like that? Or do we need to state how we go about assigning those roles?
It's in the planning
Oh.
commissioner, it's in the code, not in the bylaws.
Right, in the planning commission.
It's in the planning commission code.
Reappoint.
Yeah, if that person wasn't reappointed to the commission, they were in one of the three roles, then we would have to,
Revote.
we would have to, yeah.
Fill that.
Okay.
I was just thinking about this. What are the bylaws for the Board of Zoning Adjustment?
Officers, that's what else.
Did this say Centerton Planning Commission and Board of Zoning?
Yes, since they're one and the same here.
Says everywhere else, the boarding. The boarding adjustments is. The planning commission.
Well, it's made up of the members of the board, but it's not the same board.
I would
Thank-
probably just cut and paste this and do a separate set of bylaws.
separate
That's
set?
all I'm
Okay.
thinking.
All right. Or do we even need, well.
Yeah, I think you need
that you
bylaws.
ones. Okay,
Because we could call a meeting just for ZA
right.
and not have a planning commission meeting. And so I do think that we would be better served by having both of them.
Just didn't know if we could put
He signed it.
under the same, since
Yeah.
everything was pretty much the same. Can you?
Oh, cause it's like.
Okay.
One document.
I don't know.
Scroll past.
I mean, and that's where.
No, no,
Reason why, it just makes, heaven forbid there'll be a.
No, we need bylaws for the
Right,
Board of
right.
Zoning.
That's a good.
At any point there.
That's you might wanna change the clerk on there, on the very bottom, Todd.
That threw me off, like.
Miss Todd, and I wish she would come back, but.
No, he's still the
Right.
city clerk.
Okay.
I thought he was.
He's gone.
No.
He's not with us any longer.
Not with plans,
Sounds
but
like
he's
he's
still the
dead.
city.
He's not with planning.
Even more to happen.
I know, right?
He's no longer with us. What?
Small numbers.
He's my neighbor, actually.
He's not going to run for the position, is what I understand. Next year. Okay, so that takes care of that.
That makes sense.
You're all good. We will have a final draft of bylaws for the planning commission and the BZA next month, and then they will go to city council.
All right. Next on the agenda is Title 14 Schedule of Uses, Final Review of Uses in Agriculture, Commercial and Industrial Zoning Districts, Staff Comments on Agricultural Zone.
Probably know, Christian actually probably knows best what has changed, but if they don't, you wanna do it, that's fine.
Christian, you wanna give it a go, as you?
I need the cheat sheet as to what.
I just know that I made some changes to.
Do it.
Inception.
I'll pick a person.
Is it okay if I just yeah, thank you. Okay, blue is the revisions made based off of all of our conversations about it.
And the blue boxes are where we removed it?
Yes, blue boxes are where it's been removed. Purple is the things we had not decided, new ideas or thoughts that came up, and they just need to be discussed. For number 1, thoughts on changing the name to agricultural/animal product processing and distribution? Thoughts on that?
Which one?
Agricultural product from.
Cultural/animal instead of just
Sure.
Animal,
Sometimes fish.
animals are.
I'm just,
I'm reading the comment there.
what about fish though?
Why fish sometimes?
Just,
Why does it say sometimes fish though?
times fish.
Just take sometimes
Oh,
out.
cause the butcher shop, cause you had a question about a butcher shop. So we put in what specifically is a butcher shop,
Yes, so that's the definition.
the definition of a butcher shop.
Mark it out here.
Staff's wording,
No.
sometimes fish.
No.
Oh.
We did not make that up on our own.
No, the.
yeah.
Okay,
So it's
so
going to be
Against fish.
agricultural/animal processing and distribution,
yeah, do we like that?
not product.
Well. Yes, I think
Okay.
keep product.
Agricultural animal,
Yeah.
agricultural/animal product processing and distribution.
Yep.
I would
What do we think? Thoughts? Questions, concerns?
Say just leave as is.
Yeah, I'm good with it as is.
Oh, my goodness, okay.
Great job.
Thanks, Ben.
Man,
So leave it as is.
I was just curious what it was.
All right, ready, next one. Number 14, stables commercial. This is really just a note for next time. We're wanting to add this as permitted to residential estates.
We're not really talking about that right now.
We're not, but it's in purple.
Should that be conditional?
We're not talking about.
Really, yeah. I just said it's purple, okay?
That was more of a note for us when we come back to the residential uses that we'll
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay.
That's more of a staff note, sorry.
We added the agriculture, recreation and tourism section and then fairground, we kind of broke out that. We broke out, it was a use and we're breaking it out into multiple uses now. Okay, fairgrounds or rodeo ground, you pick farms, corn maze, petting zoo, blah, blah, blah. Fairgrounds, conditional in A1 and conditional in I2. Thoughts?
Was recommended just because they can be so large.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, we like that? Okay, great.
Big farms.
You pick farms, we have permitted in agriculture and conditional in C2. And we said conditional in C2 because these all vary so much that it needs to be considered on a case-by-case basis.
Especially since a lot of our C2 is directly adjacent to residential,
Yeah.
so we need to be conscious of those.
Is that like an industry term? Can we spell it
Can you spell it?
instead of you?
It's.
Is that really how it is?
That's how it is, just letter.
Yeah.
Self.
That's a Tara
There you
question.
go.
Self.
Stand, that's.
Efficient. Self-pick.
Grab and dash.
All right, we were fine with those though.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, self-pick, I guess.
Corn maze, we put permitted in A1 and not at all anywhere else. You look like you have something to say.
Oh, I like it.
Petting zoo, permitted in ag and conditional in C2. Pretty much same reason as the U pick farms.
If you're gonna do boarding and residential estates, you're gonna need to put that.
I wrote it down though. Educational farm / learning center. Permitted in ag, conditional in C2, conditional in I1.
Yep.
Great, the silence is so loud.
The silence is,
I
that's
think they'll
good.
speak up if they have a problem.
Yeah, we can do that too.
Horse riding experiences and lessons permitted in A1. Okay. Farmers market permitted in ag C1, C2, and conditional in C3 and I1. Remind.
Question on this use.
Yes.
Is this like a permanent farmer's market stand?
Like farmer's market event.
Could be either.
Side of the road.
Now, if it's a permanent stand and it's a development, then they would come
Yeah.
to us with it.
But you're saying they don't need to get a conditional use if a whatever in a commercial zone wants to have a farmer's market?
Well, they'd still have to do a temporary.
That's my confusion here on the use.
Well, we would still be doing, but we would still be, we should still be reviewing their plan to do that.
Right, but you're saying it's permitted in these three.
The use of a farmer's market is permitted in those 3 zones. If it was a permanent farmer's market or reoccurring often, then they would go through the large scale to their site.
Right.
So when I'm looking at this list, I'm thinking permanent
Yes.
uses.
Yeah. We have a different permit for a 1 day.
Thank you.
Or depending on the scale, it could fall under temporary use at the bottom, which is conditional.
Yeah.
Residential, we added those revisions. What's the next one? Oh, community.
A zoo is conditional in C1.
No, C2.
A zoo is conditional in C1 and C2 and I1 and A1.
Petting zoo is only conditional in C2?
I don't, how can it,
The question is, do we want a zoo in downtown?
No.
Okay, we're taking it out.
I think when we were thinking this, we were thinking that some zoos can be very small.
Like a petting zoo,
It doesn't
a fish zoo.
I mean, aquarium.
They're done with it, it goes to the fish market.
I like them.
We have one.
Got an aquarium on here.
Aquarium made the list. We need to add aquarium.
Aquarium is under tourism, attractions and entertainment. We're just not there yet.
Okay.
Great, okay.
Don't exist.
Well, is aquarium agriculture? Okay, we're not there yet.
Okay, so to clarify on the zoo, we're thinking full scale zoo. If it was a little zoo, it'd be a petting zoo.
But do
But we-
all small zoos let you petting?
Yeah, but saying. So do conditional in C1 or no? C1 being downtown.
We're saying that there were some parcels that would be pretty okay for a zoo in our downtown.
No, it was aquarium.
They're on my
Oh,
lot.
aquarium. I don't know about zoo.
Team vote.
City Hall?
Zoo?
What happens if
I know.
farmer's market, they can have, what happens if it's not there and someone wants to put a zoo? They have to, is there a horses?
Just rezone it, right?
New permit?
Rezoning, like how would they? Someone really wanted to put a zoo and we said, no, we're not letting.
We have to ask to change this.
They've asked to change it.
Yeah, you guys can't give variance.
It's not a variance.
This time at the square. So they could.
No.
That's not a zoo.
Our downtown area though,
Right now it's exclusive to Main Street.
I just don't feel like a zoo is appropriate.
I would like to point out that these are blue. These have been here a couple of times.
That is true.
It's a new day.
Do we want to change them? What do we want?
That one warrants the change, no?
I don't think that should be.
I think we could make it
Commission to,
align it with the
Yeah.
petting zoo.
Trying to think of another city out there that's got a zoo down
St.
there.
Louis.
Do they?
They do, it's right in town.
zoo, the big.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Central Weston.
Mhm.
Oh, it is downtown.
How's it fit with everything else that's around there?
There's a
The
big
big
park,
municipal park.
I mean, it's a whole big.
That's
it's a
Central
whole big
Weston.
thing. I mean, so if you imagine
I like San Diego.
this new downtown area with 20 acres, I mean, that's basically what St. Louis, I mean, you can walk, it's got a Ford Park, everything is. It's all part of one big
San
thing.
Diego.
It depends on how you set up the rest of the town, right? But you could make it.
Well, it's blue, boy.
That's
Citizens
why
do.
it's in blue, thank you.
Come on.
Should
Okay,
we
okay.
circle back to petting zoo?
And take it off?
The petting zoo.
Like put petting zoo in C1 because we're putting a zoo in.
I don't know.
Just take petting zoo off
Take it off?
and lump it in with zoo. It's,
Cause I feel like they're
very different animals.
Literally.
You could do a petting
But
zoo
lo and
on.
behold, someone's gonna come and want the pet. So I mean, I guess.
Downtown Hot Springs.
Yeah.
If,
Our farms that have, that you could come and pet the
I'm just trying to make it easy.
Alright. Alright, anyway, residential, do we want to go through and pick from the residential that's already in blue?
No, because that was there just for mixed use, really, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for the most part.
just have short-term rentals in there.
Do we have? Did talk about that.
How's that different than single family? It's not a use, that's still a residential home. Based on what kind, condo?
Short-term rental right now technically falls under the Airbnb homestay.
Oh, yeah.
I think
But we do
can-
have it under that, yes.
Yeah,
6.
yeah.
But we are gonna go to 54. Right?
54, well, we skipped.
No, we skipped.
Education public.
Why are they purple?
They are at the
40,
at the end.
42 is purple. Remove from that.
Okay, 42, community and recreation center. We are thinking of removing it from ag.
Why?
This was a long time ago.
Because if they wanted to put a community or recreation center there, would you not want them to just rezone it?
Yeah.
To an appropriate zoning?
Yes, thank you.
We want a rezone.
Well, that makes sense in all.
Because it's an assembly use. That's what I would say. It's the reason why.
Okay.
Okay. Emergency services. We think permitted across the board.
I haven't been here for this conversation, but I've heard that it's been quite the talk. Can somebody explain it to me? I haven't been here for this.
Emergency services?
Why you wouldn't have them permitted? Why you'd have them conditional in all zones? What is the concern?
Boys,
It's for safety.
discussion was this time. Well, hospital.
Who's the baby?
It wasn't like you could do conditional.
The thought on the conditional was to add requirements based on where they're at it wasn't to limit them,
You still want them there.
Oh,
Be able to
yeah.
put some requirements on it.
Right, to make it fit a neighborhood per se, or, like a fire station in a neighborhood. Wanna make it fit within the neighborhood.
Even though our current code now requires the additional buffering between zones.
Yes, but the buffering's not gonna help as they leave and drive down the street, lights and sirens.
But they're gonna be doing that anyway if they have to go through that area.
Right.
Could be building materials, it could be anything.
Leaving it conditional.
I got two. No. Appreciate it.
Governmental agencies and offices, we suggested removing from ag for the same reason. A lot of these that you see removed from ag are gonna pretty much be for the same reason, that they fit somewhere else and we can rezone.
Why wouldn't you do that to emergency services then? Why wouldn't you remove those from ag if you're gonna take the same stance?
For the same reason, we wouldn't remove educational facilities.
But if they're going in ag, you want them to rezone, that's what we just said on the recreation center.
I think it is because you might need a emergency service further out in the city where things are not quite developed. I don't know if you would want to do the same thing with. recreation.
Shouldn't we find a spot where that use is compatible and maybe not just in the middle of a big ag area?
Okay, well, let's look at the animal control shelter and let's just picture that it's in the city. Would we want them to rezone that?
That's
For use
That's what y'all said.
or leave it as ag?
That's what y'all said just a second ago. That's all. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Leave it as ag. Never.
The other side of this, we really need a zoning district that is for.
Public.
Just thinking, if you leave it as ag,
Yeah.
don't have to require any buffering, and then as the area grows up around it.
Right.
You can't go pet dog. That shelter.
It's good for one. It's good for all.
Shoot.
What's that?
You guys think just leave them conditional, all of the
Yeah.
ones we suggested remove from ag,
Yeah.
conditional,
Make that
now until we get a public use zoning.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do that instead.
Like, what is the
Hmm.
junior high zone? It's at.
The west is also.
That's pretty standard. That's
Yeah.
on ag, yeah, conditional.
Okay, so golf course. Oh, wait, sorry.
Oh.
Event, music, dance venue, indoor, use 54. I'm assuming we're skipping the library because we're leaving that in ag.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We're on tourism attractions and entertainment section, use 54, event, music, dance venue, indoor. We suggested conditional in A1 and all of the commercial. And then the difference between the indoor and outdoor is the conditional in I1 for out.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. If an indoor, what we would consider an indoor, has an outdoor space,
It's outdoor.
then which one would it? It's a legit question. Where would it fall? So the Ravington as an example has, I would, in theory, think it's indoor, but they have a large patio area that's set up to do the same thing as what they do inside.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it would go by what is the most intense use, right?
But how,
Which
I,
has some larger
but,
square footage.
but then if we were gonna put different restrictions on what could take place in an indoor versus an outdoor, or would we just consider it an event center? Or something like that. I don't know, I'm just thinking, I get where you're going, but what if we approve an indoor facility because it's 60% indoor and 40% outdoor, and the 40% outdoor is next to the residential, then we may not be doing the justice that we should be in considering the entire, they could ask for an indoor.
Should they err on the side of, if they have outdoor, should we just consider it? They're going all the same
I
place.
think if they have any use outdoor, then something.
I don't know if we need a definition or how that, but that was my only thought. Do we need to, or do we just consider?
I think that you would consider both, because you've got an indoor and an outdoor use, but they're conditional, so you can set those conditions regardless. It's not like what's permitted and what's conditional.
I mean, all this says to me is that you can go in light industrial if you have an outdoor. That's the only difference, right?
Yeah.
I think entertainment would be.
I1's supposed to only be in.
Yes.
Okay, we can move on. I was just.
Where,
Do we need to fix that?
Yeah, that's kind.
Technically, they can, by conditional use, they can ask to not have the requirement in I1.
So no, we don't have to do that. Like that's fine there.
Okay, wait a minute. So, but indoor, that was supposed to have conditional in I1 and outdoor is not allowed? Is that right? The way you have it?
that's right.
The way that I have it is the way that we had talked about.
Okay,
Yeah. I think Kayla was saying I1 has to have completely indoor use, but they can request a conditional use to not have to follow that requirement. So that's still. I'll use that.
yes, but it doesn't say permitted for indoor in I1.
No.
I think the intent of that was to preserve our indoor versus outdoor is there's more space. And I1 will have more space. In theory, I was not the only one making the.
When does it become a torrent?
I just thought that you said that it had to be indoor for it to be allowed in I1.
I1, it does say that all activities happen indoor.
But it's not allowed in indoor. In I1. Okay. I was thinking.
I don't know why, because we back and forth, and you made some comments on it, 'cause I know they wanted to go over it with you as Caleb jokes to death.
Went over the agricultural.
We can get our questions lined up instead of line by line, cause we got 173 and we're
Well, there's not much
Yeah.
at
left.
this for almost 45 minutes now.
I'm gonna keep us going a little bit here.
Well, have you reviewed these and,
I,
all right. We'll just go through, is there anything that you agree or don't agree?
Yeah.
Clear to people that the convenience store falls under retail,
But what falls under retail?
the C stores? It's just a question,
You want to put in parentheses.
including convenience store, maybe.
Examples.
I'm just thinking somebody from outside looking in.
Put
That's
C
fine.
retail. Or-
Maybe in the retail option, you put including convenience stores.
Like how we have. Contractors, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, painting, and in parentheses, then we would include. Convenience store. Blah, blah, blah. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Where's that?
I have a question about. Sorry. 77, the barber, beauty and nail. Are we removing that from the ag? Is that what the purple?
Yeah.
If I own a large parcel and I wanna have an extra barn and I wanna cut hair, I won't be able to do that.
extra. If it's just you and your one chair, that's a hop.
That's a hop.
It's a who?
Oh.
Perfect, thank you.
Does that same thing apply? I was just looking at the auto repair.
Cut sheet.
That applies to
Years.
Like if it's just your little
What if I'm scaling?
garage. A lot of repair guys that
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there are. I'm not sure if that would fall under a hop or not. Because they have to store things. On the property, would that fall under a hop?
They can store it, it cannot be outside storage and then.
So if they have a garage and all the extra parts and any cars in the garage. That would be a hop.
that'd be my only concern about removing that one from ag. That's typically on the outside. And guy wants to
Yeah.
have a garage.
Caution, don't remember for that one.
Yeah.
Any other questions, concerns, complaints?
So to meet the intent of everything else, the 95. Should that be, instead of your comment of permitted in A1, should that not be conditional in A1?
I think the different,
Would we not want to see that? Pretty much. All the permitted.
Yeah, just like equipment sales and service, they're gonna be outside.
Right, a hospital? I don't know.
Hopefully they're inside.
Yeah, but we're just gonna have it straight permitted in A1?
They would still have to come to us with. A large scale development. And so with the machinery. Light equipment, sales services.
Okay. It's really just about the like buffering stuff.
I'm concerned about the machinery, heavy equipment, sales and service, permitted in A1.
that's currently permitted in A1.
Yeah.
At their home.
So are you concerning? Selling heavy equipment.
Nobody's gonna start.
To industrial.
Prices even more.
Industrial or. You.
Crazy chemical.
It would be conditional in A1 or removed from ag. Sorry, remove it from.
I don't, yeah, it's no longer be in cultural use.
Or worse chemicals.
Commercial.
Everybody was thinking about like farm equipment.
Right. Yeah, how big implement sales. Years are. We did have that, that.
Normally they're in the middle of farmland. Way frontage, farmland all around.
That they're a business. It's not. Cultural use.
That's typical, you know.
Straight up. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Commercial business.
Or maybe next, just another question. Just remove it in general.
You could do conditional, then you could look at what they're testing. Sometimes
C2.
we did have one come in that was wanting to do selling tractors, you know, at one time. It was kind of, I don't know, somewhat be temporary and, you know, they hadn't decided for sure.
Okay. All right, any other ones?
Yeah,
Great.
127. Why can that not be handled under a home occupation permit?
Okay, the research says. Highly chemically intensive, relying on complex, often hazardous cocktail of substances.
Did AI give that to
I
you?
don't remember, but
It wasn't AI.
How about the beauty barber shop? That's the same thing.
don't actually think that's the same.
I do.
Perm juice?
Yeah, I 100%. I went to beauty shops to buy things to do.
House,
Yeah, exactly.
but I don't know. So
Making those squirrel beer koozies, huh?
we.
What kind of
you-
squirrel?
So what do we wanna do with taxidermy? Do we wanna
You
take it
know-
off? Cause this is a use that we added. It was not actually in our schedule of uses to begin with. So we can just scratch that. if
No,
we
I
want.
think, I think you have a legitimate,
Permitted.
yeah, but I don't like, if there are issues with like pre-treatment devices, like, why can't that be handled with the home occupation permit?
I think there was stuff on the checklist that were like for home occupation permits, the specific wording in the code made this more S than what a hop normally would for.
I think in that case, you make
Either
it
the hop goes
condition.
together.
If it's a problem, you take it away.
We handle that under this, the
I'm just,
large scale review.
I ain't trying to drive up prices.
When they occupy, say, all right, I don't like Grabbit, they had a taxidermy.
I was gonna say, you accuse yourself.
Like,
Don't-
we don't have it
Taxidermy.
C1, but when you go into your inspection, you're gonna make certain requirements of them.
Taxidermy,
Through the,
excuse me, taxidermy, you run into how many chemicals, what's the amount?
the storage.
Your barbershop salons, usually their amount of chemicals are under. They fly under the,
Radar.
not radar, but the amounts that would require. They have smaller amounts. Taxidermy, I don't think about it. I just know they have some pretty nasty chemicals.
Sometimes, it depends on how they operate.
Right.
But yeah,
And they would depend on how many, what's the amount that they're storing on site.
right. But you can also review that in a home occupation permit, right?
Diane, did you pull up the?
I think
right now.
on it.
Google says it's safe, viable, and it,
For home occupation. permit.
yeah, for home occupant, as long as it's in, the chemicals are in group
Oh,
B.
sorry.
B chemicals.
So there's probably more natural,
No,
there's probably different levels of treatment and stuff that you can use, so. You probably have to look at a ledger of the chemicals that they're approved for, and if they're in a group B, or if they go into a group A, which is high hazard. Probably where you'd have to break it down.
They would have to break it down. They would have to tell me what they have. And
And then you'd have to LDS it with your chemicals, and they'd have to store them in a cabinet. And I mean, kind of like woodworkers with some of the lacquers, and you wouldn't drink it any faster than you drink the other stuff by accident, so.
doesn't meet the requirements of a hop.
Man, that says it's safe.
Okay, so, so we're looking at where it's going to be allowed in these zones. Why would it not be permitted in an I1 or I2?
I think it could be.
Great.
There you go.
And depending on the size of it, I don't, I mean, on C1 and C2, I mean, I know,
allow it in home occupation.
no, it's not allowed. in-
Okay.
I mean, they might do it. I don't know. But
People do, when you have people doing home-based businesses that we know nothing about.
but
Yeah,
if it's in these zones, I mean, if they're.
industrial's fine. I think that's fine, yeah.
So A1, C2, and I1 and I2 permitted.
I don't know. I mean, you're right down, I mean, that's the downtown district.
So I want to sell you deer heads to hang in your house. Why can't I do that down there? If I want to sell you a deer head to hang on your wall, I'm downtown, you can bring them in while I'm doing them, I can sell them.
Guy that was downtown Grabbit moved to his house.
No, that's what,
The majority of taxidermists operate out of their home.
my hometown, we had.
Do they live in like R3 or are they like
No, they're like
agriculture?
out in the country.
Great.
Yeah, States, you have a shop,
We got a meat processing center downtown.
you gotta meet.
C1.
Have a conditional in C1.
Sure.
Great.
Alcohol manufacturing and distribution, we said change to not allowed in C2.
Hold on a minute.
Do you have any other questions, you guys?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Well, manufacturing. So
Oh,
you have. Brewery.
There's a brewery restaurant use,
So keep going
105. C1, C2, conditional, and C3.
The difference in
It's commercial use, Devin.
that's what we changed. That's why we changed it.
There's a microbrewery in my neighborhood.
And a meat prostitute.
Come on, though. That's not that you beer now that handles.
Anything else, you guys?
The extraction of petroleum, you've added that, but there's no.
Yeah, that was something we needed to get your guys' thoughts on. Because we don't know anything about extracting petroleum.
I missed that one.
it's gonna be A1.
What?
A lot of it's gonna be typical, it pumps out in the wells.
An A1 or conditional?
Yeah. Everyone, you gotta come through and get a conditional use.
Permitted.
We even have that much oil around here?
No.
It's not gonna come out.
Too worried about it.
I don't even know that we have natural gas. South of here.
Are we gonna make it permitted? Or we need it in our schedule of uses?
Have we had the request come through?
They come in, you couldn't even sleep in the same
We
bed.
know where that one
No.
came from.
I
I
don't
think,
Stand.
I think you can
I was
do.
like, I wasn't in on that.
I2.
Okay.
Cause it's a scale thing, right? If it's small scale. It's easy, but. If it's small scale, it's easy to see it out in like A1. If it's large scale, you would want. Little,
Conditional on A1 may have.
yeah, I think conditional in A1, better than I2.
Extract petroleum, it seems good.
I'm in.
My next doctor.
But we don't have anything on stockpiling. That was one that Lorraine wanted included was stockpiling for people that like excavate their dirt, sell it.
We have a couple of properties where they have stockpiled. Or just start hauling it in and out, piece of property.
We also,
It was on Main Street, one of them.
One on Main Street, one on 102. The one on 102 was huge.
Huge. They stripped that 3 times.
People live there.
Zoned agricultural.
Oh, zone ag, that's what I was asking, like, what
It
was
was
it?
never rezoned.
But the amount of truck traffic
It was
that
crazy.
came in and out was a lot, and they also did,
It was too late.
and then the one where. They had the rental equipment, they dumped a lot there too, years ago.
Second conditional in C2. I did A1 and. 2. I1.
What for I1 or what?
What's the bigger industrial?
I2
I too.
intense.
So it sounds like you want it to be conditional in agriculture too, though, no?
You lost that one.
Sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
Well, it's just the amount of truck traffic that goes in and out. It could be, I mean. It could be permitted in A1.
We just have
As long as, yeah.
along our highways.
Where would it go through the mining one?
That's why we brought it up.
Yeah.
I mean. But by putting it on there, now they have to go through, even if it's permitted, not they have.
Well, they should come in if they're operating a business.
Where was the issue? Was it A1?
It was A1, but it was on Center
It
Table.
was right
Park.
across from Western.
End up if there's
Oh, okay.
some of the. Restrictions they have to follow, they have to put grass back.
It's, yeah,
That's what, I mean,
we have kind of a mix right there.
what I understand,
You might run into
man,
a lot of
on the wrong one.
So make it conditional there and.
And then-
Yeah, I mean, you would think in an industrial area,
No.
you'd be planning to handle the traffic in those areas.
You could even do mining and stockpiling.
Run together.
Mining is move from A1.
So conditional in A1 and C2 and then permitted in I1 and I2. We're talking kind of about it.
Mining, if we're
Uh,
combining them, we only.
Sorry, I'm talking about stockpiling.
I wouldn't combine.
I don't think so either.
Maybe not, yeah.
What you said.
You have different stockpiling.
So you're saying on mining, remove it from A1 or it'll be conditional? So that's supposed to say the red dirt. Would be agriculture. I mean, that's where it comes from.
But they came in also on that.
Yeah, I just said, well, over here it said remove from A1. I didn't know if you were like taking it.
Oh, mining? Oh,
Yeah,
To
no.
me, it's two different things.
Oh, there it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, so keep it conditional for mining in A1, and then for stockpiling, we wanna make conditional in A1, C2, and permitted in I1. Or sorry, I2.
Yep.
The only thing that's making it and permitted in I1 is right now, there's a specific requirement that it has to be indoor. And then if they want it to be outdoor in I1, they have to come through with a conditional use.
Conditional.
Okay.
And I mean, you could do some stockpiling in a C2 on raw materials.
Yeah,
That-
I thought it was conditional.
That is conditional.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Got those marked. Anything else?
Sorry, why is broadcasting moved from A1? Broadcasting studio. Sometimes they are like out. I don't know why.
Well, they put the big radio tower in.
That would be different though than the control room.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause that could be just a regular office building.
With technology today, they could be talking to.
29.
You might not have an American radio station, but have a European station. From the 80s.
Headed
and
in agony.
Taxidermy.
That doesn't change.
Yeah.
for code.
It's for code.
And then we added small cells.
What I do to you in Europe.
Okay.
Cell phone towers, are we not? Remember.
There's a lot of regulations on cell phone town.
Yeah.
This matches it.
Matches the code.
But now we have regulations that control what. All right. That conditional.
Yep.
Yeah, right now I'm not allowed.
Is a use.
Right,
It just wasn't allowed in A1 at all.
correct.
You couldn't have a PUD in A1.
Yes, then I would have to go.
What kind of development are you gonna do in A1 that would be a PUD?
Yeah, and that really doesn't,
Taxidermy.
thanks.
They
What happened to
do
me
a
in
step ground.
Yeah, petting actions.
Unfortunate.
Anyone?
Well, I guess it's handy when they try.
Get it?
What would you consider in answering your question, Lorraine? If I owned 5 acres and wanted to put multiple dwelling units on it for a compound, would it qualify as a PUD? Or,
Religious facility.
Still have to have the line zoning of residential estate.
okay,
Need to be reasoned.
So.
could I create my own PUD if I owned 5 acres of land and wanted to build 3 houses if I met all the other qualifications, as an example?
Why don't you just track split in 5 acre lots?
I think.
Why?
Have other requirements.
Then you still have to.
If I do that, then I have other restrictions.
Think.
Versus if I have a large lot and I want them to be apart. I could do that under a PUD maybe.
Well, have to meet the underlying zoning, so A1 only allows you to have, I think, 2 residences on your property.
But I could put an overlay with a PUD though, right?
I think it would allow uses that aren't permitted by right or conditional for the schedule of uses.
You'd have to have, all of your acreage would have to be 10 acres to meet the underlying zoning for A1.
But even if, so if I had the 10 acres. I'm just trying to answer your question. What would I, what you just asked about?
Yeah.
I think if there were several agriculture uses that you wanted to have on one piece of property, instead of having to get a conditional use for each use, you could do a PUD and do all of them.
But right below it, mixed use, you have removed from A1.
I'm going home.
Yeah, this, after a while, these schedule of
They
uses
start blurring
just
together.
Yeah.
beat you up, so.
Alright, we made progress tonight.
Did we?
Okay, so is that what we're doing?
Maybe back.
I think it makes more sense to make it A1, not remove things.
I'm sure.
Yes,
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
These becomes.
agreed.
Okay. All right, that's the end.
It's on.
Y'all did it.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
All right. Our next planning commission meeting is 6/2. You will not be here. Please let the staff know.
I don't think I'll be here.
You're covered.
Already emailed.
There is a tech review meeting on 5/21. And I will see you before the next council meeting. Anything else from staff? Anything else from any of the commissioners? And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Motion